and finish this, because I wanted to talk about how we ended talking about an unshakable kingdom. Everything I show through God in Let's Talk About It segments, everything I talk about in all the past Activation Tuesdays, everything I talk about in, as we can say, the different Monday motivations, if you haven't seen that, or Golden Nuggets, all that stuff is talking about how God has a kingdom that does not change. That's why it says it's unshakable. And the word says he's shaking everything. Only thing that will be left was what's not shakable. And that's talking about the men and women of God and his kingdom. His kingdom is the mindset, and also his kingdom is what's coming and shifting and changing things here. So now you have to understand, and we're talking spiritually, but we're talking politically in the spiritual realm. You have to govern yourself according to the spirit. And also governing yourself according to the spirit, you have to understand that God has set you apart for a particular reason, a particular set of people. And since he set you there, he has you to actually have dominion there and to shift and change everything. But all this other stuff have to be out of you before you can make this move. Now, if it's in you while you're making this move, it corrupts everybody. Because whatever's in the person, as is in their heart, it comes out of their mouth. So Jesus was talking about, it's not what a man eats that defiles him, but it's what comes out. Because it says whatever eats comes out the drought. In other words, whatever you eat comes out when you use the restroom. But he says what comes out of your mouth, because it's what's in your heart. What's in your heart is what's in your spirit, man. So if something is old, generational root that's been grown up for a long time, it becomes something that's stuck in your subconscious. And if it's in your subconscious, it's in your spirit. And if it's in your spirit, man, that's the wrong spirit that's driving you. And if that's the wrong spirit that's driving you, now you understand that when you come to minister and you have to affect people's lives, they get affected with that also. But you say, well, no, that don't make sense, Pastor, because I have the Spirit of God. Do you remember in scripture, it says, let the wheat and tare grow together. So since that stuff have to grow together, there's a bitter root growing up as well as a poison fruit, as well as something good. Well, how can bitter and sweet come out the same out? Because there's one side of you that comes out, which is the carnal side of you. And then there's one side of you that comes out, which is the spiritual side of you. And however that button get pushed at that particular time, that's what comes out. So if you call me Jamil and speak to me, I'm going to act and move and talk as Jamil. But if you reverence me as Pastor Perryman or Pastor J, I know that's what you're looking for. But then again, if I can't tame my root and I can't tame this thing, as James 3 talking about this tongue, and I got some stuff that's built up on the inside of me, after a while you can twist and push iniquity on the inside and it will come out of me. So chapter 12 breaks down, and it's so great because it's right there with Father's Day that just recently passed. It breaks down the whole fatherhood, but it breaks down the whole bastard clause of being illegitimate if you're not following what the Father is saying. And it talks about the bitter root, and then it talks about the birthright, because now there's a chain of command, and by birth you have to be blessed, but you have to get this root out of you. And once you get this root out of you, then there's also me being your full father, because I'm tired of just being your father for this time, or every now and then I'm your father. I'm just the feeling dad. That makes me feel like I'm not really your father. And if I don't feel I'm really your father, that means that you're really not my son and you're illegitimate. That's what the bastard clause is. That's what Old Testament Leviticus was breaking down and trying to let the people see in the Old Testament, because they came out of Egyptology and the Egypt culture where they didn't believe in ancestral to the point that this is your cousin, this is your aunt, this is that. Nah. And every time they show this in Leviticus 18, going from chapter 6, from verse 6 to 20, it was showing you the relationship the person was to the father. So as I call him Abba Father, my relationship to him has to be set in a way that I don't want to disrespect him. It has to be set in a way that I need to clean some stuff up, because now whoever I'm connected to can be affected. So why does that matter to me? Because sooner or later I'm going to be a father to somebody. And I'm talking about spiritual sons and daughters, which I have already. But I'm just talking in general for somebody who hasn't got that far and they're new in the faith. Just like in the book of Hebrews chapter 12, these people are new in the faith. He's saying you're going to become a father to many people. And if you're going to become a father, this is the way you have to rule. And this is the way you have to move. And this is the way you have to go as a father. And if you're my spiritual son, you're my spiritual daughter, whatever I spill out or spew out, it affects you also. So what are you? Are you truly my spiritual son? Are you truly my spiritual daughter? Can I truly pour into you and give a understanding? Can you take my chastisement? Can you take the way I give you scripture? Can you take the way I'm stern? Can you take the way I fuss you out and tell you how you need to get yourself in line? If you can't take that, then you're a bastard, because you're an illegitimate child. You're not my child. And it's some stuff that I have to bless you with from the birthright, like Esau, but I don't want you to get it the wrong way like Esau tried. I'm going to give it to you the way God has given it to me. So don't sneak up and try to be my friend and try to beguile me and try to be close to me and try to hang with me thinking you're going to get the blessing. It's going to rub off. Don't do that. What I need you to do is, if God called you to me and you know God called you to me and vice versa, stick and stay, and everything else will fall in line. And in the process, he's going to work something out. He's going to expose some things and he's going to clean stuff up, because the word in Matthew 3:10 just said he got to cut it down by the root. Now that was for somebody. I don't know who it was, but it's letting them understand this is what Hebrews chapter 12 is talking about. It brought us up as high as it could in chapter 11 about the faith and all the people of faith. And then it came into chapter 12, said, now this is how you're supposed to be when it comes to fatherhood.